Do you feel loved on a daily basis? How regularly are you intimate with someone close to you? Share in vulnerability, feel seen and heard and understood by a friend, or partner, or a lover. Don't be alarmed by your answers. Many of us are starving for those feelings. As a society, we've entered an intimacy famine. The solution to this is not simple. We must learn to cultivate meaningful moments with one another in a world where technology facilitates physical distance. My name is Michelle Drouin. I'm a professor of psychology at Purdue University, Fort Wayne, and the author of Out of Touch: How to Survive an Intimacy Famine. Here are 5 survival tips that might just help you do that. Tip 1, beware of the internet panopticon. Unsurprisingly, we begin with the internet, the omnipresent lens through which we live our lives. To me, the perfect metaphor for our current situation is the panopticon, an architectural prison structure proposed by philosopher Jeremy Bentham in the 18th century. A tower with the guard in the center of the rotunda, filled with prisoners' rooms all facing inward. On the internet, we are each both the prisoner and the guard, the watcher and the watched. It's normal to care about what other people think, but the internet pushes us onto a stage where everything we do is on display, which of course leads us to seek inauthentic, stage-worthy moments. Only 2% of users expect that others are always honest online. This creates the ultimate conflict between the ideal and the rational. We both want the impossible illusion, the vacations, the pretty foods, the beautiful faces from the carefully curated and filtered posts. And at the same time, we don't believe what we see. This can lead to paranoia, hurt, judgment, self-hate, distrust, and much, much more. The only way to win against the illusion is to accept the internet for what it is, an illusion, and also to recognize that, my second tip, you can't survive on dopamine alone. The internet is addictive. It hacks into our brain chemistry. For most of us, our daily lives are filled with drips of dopamine from our quick and easy social communication, like text messages and social media posts. These little bits of social reinforcement feel good, but they're shallow and they're fleeting. At the same time, our engagement in deeply immersive moments is diminishing. Sexual activity is decreasing. People are having fewer face-to-face moments, and millions of people feel lonely and socially isolated.
Every time we choose texting in this text, talk, touch dilemma, we might be saving time, but we are reinforcing the dopamine-driven feedback loop and sacrificing the floods of oxytocin we might get from more immersive face-to-face experiences, like hugs or sex. It's a trade-off that leaves many of us wanting. And though you could likely survive on these dopamine drips, oxytocin, also known as the love hormone, is really what helps us bond with others. And that type of bonding helps us survive as humans. However, don't take this too far. Tip number 3, don't do a phone detox. Okay, you say, if social media is so bad, I should throw my phone in the ocean? Well, not so fast. One of our most basic human motivations is a drive for closeness and affiliation. We crave intimacy, and intimacy is not just sex. It includes other types of experiences where we can share ourselves and be vulnerable, like hugging, kissing, talking about our feelings, and even sharing our ideas and dreams. Certainly, our phones can serve as a bridge to these experiences. They are a lifeline to everyone we love and care about. So instead of doing a full phone detox, use your phone to create opportunities for connection. So many people talk about being sucked into their technologies, but you have agency here. Harness the power of this technology for social good. Swap passive consumption like scrolling for active, immersive engagement, like setting up meetings with friends or video calls. Save and invest your time carefully. Not every text and email needs to be answered, and social media will still exist without you. So we should stop being afraid of our phones. And we should also, tip number 4, stop being afraid of robots. I grew up in the era of the Jetsons and Star Wars with optimistic dreams of robots helping me clean my room and traveling with me on intergalactic adventures. But more recent Hollywood renderings are more pessimistic. From iRobot to Her to Big Bug, the robots in these movies at best make us redundant and at worst wipe us out. But focusing on the potential downsides of these innovations makes us overlook the promise of robots as social beings, life facilitators, and trusted companions. We have to think more deeply about how robots could help the millions of lonely and socially isolated people on this planet. 22% of the US population is lonely, including more than 1/3 of us over 45. Once clunky and awkward, AI has reached the point where it can be socially responsive, learn and mimic humans, mirror speech patterns, and remember likes and dislikes. Add to this increasingly anthropomorphic designs, and robot friends look like a real possibility. By shifting our framework away from fear and toward the promise and ethics of robotic integration, we have the opportunity to provide emotional support and companionship for millions. Above all, though, I'd advise you to
The Harvard study of adult development and the Gluick study are some of the most ambitious and in-depth studies of human development that have ever existed. Beginning in 1937, every 2 years, participants completed exhaustive surveys, gave blood samples, and received brain, organ, and even MRI scans when the technology became available. So what does the current director of this incredible research, Robert Waldinger, say about a healthy life? The clearest message that we get from this 75-year study is this: good relationships keep us happier and healthier, period. Participants with stronger friendships had longer, healthier lives. Friends keep us active, social within our communities, and engaged in healthy behaviors. Friends are like the crumple zone, that space between us and disaster that helps to buffer us in our most trying moments. People with greater diversity in their social networks are more resistant to illness, and older adults with stronger friendships have a 50% greater chance of survival than those with weaker ones. And this is regardless of age or health status. It's difficult to make friends, but it's more so if you don't make friendships a priority. And you must make them a priority, and not for the sake of popularity or clout. Develop and maintain close social ties so that you set up yourself and those friends with richer, healthier, and longer lives.